Hey loves, welcome or welcome back to my channel. Today guys, I'll be checking out this interesting video from Brett Cooper and it's titled Dylan Mulvaney is back. And you guys, I'm excited for this. If you're yet to subscribe to this channel, please consider subscribing. Give this video a massive thumbs up, comment, share and all that good stuff. And without much ado, let's see what Brett Cooper has for us in this video.
Welcome back to the comment section. I'm Brett Cooper. So we're doing a bit of a throwback here, I would say, because there is somebody who we used to discuss on the show quite frequently back in 2023, 2022. And then I decided that it was probably best to stop giving this certain person attention because I think that attention might just be the end goal. However, they have been in the news a significant amount the last couple of weeks, so I think it is only right to bring back this topic. So obviously, you guys saw in the thumbnail, we are talking about Dylan Mulvaney. If you do not know who Dylan Mulvaney is, number one, good for you. Number two, Dylan is a trans influencer who blew up in 2022 after starting a Days of Girlhood series to document the transition from male to female. We have a few episodes where we've talked about it. We can link it below. I talked about it a lot back in 2022. But Dylan quickly became the darling of the internet, the golden child of the entertainment industry, golden child of the ad world, that is until Bud Light. But Dylan also became the embodiment of the perils of gender ideology for those of us very concerned about it. Wow. But after the Bud Light fiasco, things started to calm down a little bit for Dylan until last week. And now Dylan is back more than ever, and we're going to talk about it today. Before we do, though, make sure that you like this video, subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and then ring that notification bell so that you never miss a comment section episode. All right, so this all started last week, and to celebrate International Women's Day, Lady Gaga and her brand House Labs decided that it would be a great idea to include Dylan Mulvaney in a shoot and an event for the brand. And this was Dylan's post about the whole thing. Dylan said, "Happy International Women's Day," and then also included this video.
Really?
Yeah, I did it.
I'm putting Dylan on my vision board.
I love you.
For life. Put this on your vision board, world. We love you.
Well, in my opinion, that's the last thing I would put on my vision board. Thank you very much. But guys, are we surprised at this point? Like, we have seen trans women sweep women's sports, be named Women of the Year for countless different organizations and events, be told that they can breastfeed just like mothers, basically been rubbed in our faces that these individuals are just better at being women than we are. It's kind of like that song from Annie Get Your Gun. If you're a theater kid, you know what? Anything you can do, I can do better. That's basically what we're facing every single day. But anyway, people were livid under Dylan's original post. One person said, "If only you were a woman." Somebody else said, "But you're not a woman. You are a biological man masquerading as a woman." Somebody else commented and said, "This is so degrading to real women." Yeah. And then somebody else said, "I just lost all respect for Gaga," shit emoji. But to be fair, folks, I'm not really angry at Lady Gaga about this. I mean, we could have expected this from her. Like, she sang Born This Way. She was on this train way before it was cool and progressive and mainstream. So honestly, I didn't even bat an eye. I was like, okay, it's Lady Gaga doing Lady Gaga things.
Talented, brilliant, incredible, amazing, show-stopping, spectacular, never the same, totally unique.
And so I also didn't bat an eye when she came to Dylan's defense after all the backlash started rolling in about that post. And Gaga was apparently very taken aback by the comments, and so she posted this on her Instagram with a photo of Dylan and said, "It is appalling to me that a post about National Women's Day by Dylan Mulvaney and me would be met by such vitriol and hatred. When I see a newspaper reporting on hatred but calling it backlash, I feel it is important to clarify that hatred is hatred, and this kind of hatred is violence. Backlash would imply that people who love or respect Dylan and me didn't like something we did. This is not backlash, this is hatred." Well, to be fair, Lady Gaga, a lot of your fans who do love you and at one point respect you are upset about it. Yeah. And there also are a lot of people who once liked Dylan and thought that it was fun and watched Dylan's videos and now are fed up because a line in the sand is being drawn and Dylan is crossing the line. All of this has crossed the line. So I would call it backlash. Lady Gaga went on and said, "But it's not surprising given the immense work that it is obvious we still have to do as a society to make room for transgender lives to be cherished and upheld by all of us. I feel very protective in this moment, not only of Dylan, but of the trans community who continues to lead the way with their endless grace and inspiration in the face of constant degradation, intolerance, and physical and verbal and mental violence. Wow. I certainly do not speak for this community, but I have something to say. I hope all women will come together to honor us all for International Women's Day. And may we do that always until the day that all women are celebrated equally. A day where people of all gender identities are celebrated on whichever holiday speaks to them. Because people of all gender identities and races deserve peace and dignity. May we all come together and be loving, accepting, warm, and welcoming. May we all stand and honor the complexity and challenge of trans life that we do not know but can seek to understand and have compassion for. I love people too much to allow hatred to be referred to as backlash. People deserve better." Okay, one very important point here. The day is literally called International or National Women's Day. So I think we know, based on the name, that it is not for all people. But when has that stopped people ever at this point? We're just throwing labels around like it's nothing. Now, thankfully, her comment section was flooded with people with common sense, people schooling her from all sides of the political aisle, which I really, really think speaks volumes. Because like I said in the middle of reading that, there are people that used to be big fans of Dylan and are now like, this is too much. Everything that's happening is too much. It's common sense. We have to stop. Like this person who is obviously on the left, she commented and wrote, "You took a day dedicated to women in Afghanistan who can't leave their homes without a male chaperone, women in Iran who are imprisoned and abused for not wearing a mandatory head covering, women in Nepal who risk death once a month when they are consigned to menstrual huts, women in Malta where they have no right to abortion, and women in Texas who have no reproductive rights. And you made it about a white Western privileged man who has seemingly been plucked out of showbiz obscurity to sell tat on his social media platforms by employing the most restrictive, misogynistic tropes. This is not about his right to wear what he likes, undergo cosmetic surgeries. It is about deliberately overlooking the real issues women have and making it about a man who infantilizes womanhood with deeply pejorative caricatures for commercial gain and social media likes. Women and real girls are saying enough to this takeover of our appropriation and the hypocrisy of the Hollywood elites who are failing to read the room." It's an incredible comment. Like, obviously, you guys saw, I looked at the camera, there are a couple of lines I disagree with, but that doesn't even matter here. I don't care about that in this moment. The sentiment still stands. Women are fed up. We are exhausted. This is ridiculous. We're running around in circles trying to appease all of these people when there are real women suffering across the globe, and this is the issue that we're fighting right now. These are the people that we're trying to make comfortable when there are actual women suffering. And that line about Dylan employing the most restrictive and misogynistic tropes was so good. And that's really what Dylan has been doing since the beginning, like so many others. I mean, that's why I made that whole video saying that my gender is not a costume for you guys over a year ago. Like, it is not just something that you can throw on and adopt one afternoon. Being indecisive and wanting to stay in bed and order Domino's and watch rom-coms and whatever Dylan paraded around in that first Days of Girlhood video so many years ago does not create a woman.
Wow, you guys. I'm so glad that Lady Gaga's fans are calling her out on this, because despite everything that has been happening in this world, despite the women that needed to be celebrated, the actual women, she chose to celebrate Dillian. This is very ridiculous. Let me know what you guys think about this. And womanhood is not just a costume that men throw on themselves and decided that everyone should start accepting them and everyone should start treating them equally as the real women. This is very, very annoying. And as soon as the celebrities stop to celebrate immorality, then the better it will be for everyone. Let me know what you guys think about this video so far. I'm enjoying every bit of this video, and you guys, let's continue watching.
I can't believe I have to say that. We are so much more than that. We are so much more than the dresses that we wear and how we do our hair and our skincare routine. And I know I have a lot of guys that watch me, so don't worry, dudes. Just because you're taking care of your skin does not make you a woman. Which brings me to our next point, because Dylan just celebrated the 2-year anniversary of transitioning, starting the Days of Girlhood series, becoming TikTok famous, and obviously, to celebrate, Dylan decided to become a pop star and release a song for us all. And it's all about these incredibly ridiculous female stereotypes that Dylan and other individuals have decided to adopt and just call womanhood. I think we can just dive in. Doesn't need more of an introduction. Buckle up.
We have a code pink emergency, calling women of all ages, girls like me, gotta learn the basics. Last look quick, change, sip champagne, playing catch up cause we missed the pregame.
So obviously we can pause there, because this is clearly about the trans community, considering the lyrics are things like, we missed the pregame, girls like me gotta learn the basics. Okay, well, what are those basics of womanhood, Dylan? Do you know? Well, I think you assume that you do, because you sing it just a few seconds later.
Monday can't get out of bed, Tuesday morning pick up meds, Wednesday retail therapy, cash or credit I say yes, Thursday had a walk of shame, didn't even know his name.
Okay, so to sum it all up, basically, just from that little excerpt, Dylan is saying that womanhood consists of not being able to get out of bed, popping prescription pills, retail therapy, doing the walk of shame, not remembering who you hook up with, overspending, flirting for drinks, listening to the Twilight soundtrack, and then breaking down in the bath. Like, is this a joke? People, first of all, none of this, like I said earlier, none of this makes a woman. Women can do this, many women do, but none of this is exclusive to women. Again, as that commenter stated, these are stereotypes, misogynistic tropes of how women act. This is basically like if a bunch of bros were hanging out and be like, oh, I'm gonna pretend to be a woman, let's make fun of girls. These are the kinds of things that they would say. And secondly, what kind of woman would this be? irresponsible, emotionally just a wreck, drinking, popping pills. Like, that's the kind of womanhood that you want to promote? Like, Dylan, what women are you surrounding yourself with who have taught you to believe that that is what we embody? It's honestly very sad. And something else that is genuinely very sad is that Dylan released a lengthy, almost 10-minute video on social media in celebration and reflection of this 2-year transition anniversary, and there really was not a lot of joy. I mean, in the video, Dylan literally says, I think I've forgotten how to be happy. I thought all of this would be easier. I'm exhausted. I have forgotten how to be happy. Where is the trans joy that we have been told to look for? We've been fed a lie that transitioning fixes everything, that it'll make your life so much better. You'll be happy once you transition. Okay, if that's the case with the transition and the fame and the money and the connections, you're hanging out with Lady Gaga, why isn't Dylan happy? Why is it that the rate of suicide for male to female transitioners doubles after they go through their transition, after they get surgery? That was a study that came out just last week. Have we forgotten about that? Are we not going to talk about that? These are important questions because society is telling people that this will fix things, that we should help children do this, that it is moral and right because they just want to be happy and this is going to make them happy and fix everything. It won't. We know this now, so why are we continuing this lie? Anyway, back to the song that is also filled with lots of lies. One person said, wow, my girlhood was living as a tomboy, scraping my knees, pretending I was Mary Poppins and chasing the ice cream van. What were your days of girlhood? Well, it was certainly not what Dylan was parroting, even though I've definitely cried in a bubble bath every once in a while, but that alone is not a determining factor in my womanhood. Somebody else commented and said, what a farce about what it really means to be a girl or woman. I don't need him mansplaining what it means. Yeah. Somebody else said, you are witnessing the final boss stage of the patriarchy. Yeah, the girl boss of the patriarchy. Somebody else said, the first time I see a verified YouTube channel with 9,000 subs, totally not a plant. Good point. Somebody else said Dylan Mulvaney is putting on a minstrel show parroting womanhood. It is a parody. And I completely believe that this video was probably released for attention. And that's what Dylan thrives on. And honestly, this morning, guys, I was racking my brain trying to decide if I should even do this episode, if I even wanted to film it and, take the bait or whatever. I saw people on Twitter saying, don't take the bait, don't take the bait. But I know how demoralizing it can feel to see people laugh in your face and prance all over your gender and the things that make you, the intrinsic biological things that make us women. I don't want you to feel alone in that because it's awful these days. I don't want you to feel like you're going crazy because of the things that you see people say online. The people who boil down womanhood to our reproductive organs and our menstrual cycles, but then will in turn say, oh, well, actually, we can breastfeed just as well as you can, and we can sort of fake having a period now. Oh, we can sort of bleed. We're just as woman as you are. I mean, all of this reminds me of an interaction I had with one of you guys, actually, over a year ago. One of you guys came up to me. I hope you're watching this episode right now because I feel like you'd really enjoy it. But this woman came up to me and she had started watching my videos because she had just had a hysterectomy less than 2 months prior. And she was watching people online and just society around her saying that, women were people that could give birth. They were bleeders. They were birth givers. That was their determining factor. In this world of madness, like that's what women still had. And now she didn't have that. And so she came up to me and she was just, immediately started crying and was saying, like, I found your videos and it made me feel less crazy because I have not felt like I'm a woman anymore because of the things that they're telling us. Like, that should not be happening. It's heartbreaking. No woman should feel like she is less woman because she's not able to give birth, because she's infertile, any of that. Our womanhood is not based on these stupid stereotypes. It is also not based on whether we bleed or whether we can give birth. It's so much more than that. And it's also so simple. And we've lost it. Like, these people have literally reduced us down to a caricature. I'll say it again because I think it's the best way I can describe it. My sex and my gender are not a costume for you to try on. My rights as a woman are not to be infringed. That's all.
Wow, you guys, that was such an interesting one from Brett Cooper. I really enjoyed every minute of this video, and the final take home to all trans people who are parading as women is that our sex and our gender is not a costume for you to try on whenever you want. And what are your thoughts on Lady Gaga promoting Dylan? Leave it in the comment section down below. I really had fun reacting to Brett Cooper. And if you guys totally enjoyed watching, give this video a massive thumbs up, comment, share, and all that good stuff. And I'll see you all in my next video. Bye, guys.